Well, we are just moments away from baseball in Game 3 of this three-game set between the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs and the Lancaster Barnstormers. Blue skies overhead. It doesn't get much better than this as far as weather goes for baseball. Temperatures in the mid-70s for the start of this afternoon's contest. Well, the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs come into this one with a 13-game lead in the North Division. Lancaster is 18 and a half games back. And the Blue Crabs have a magic number of just 3 to clinch the North Division. That means the Blue Crabs either need to win 3 games or any combination of the Blue Crabs winning 3 and the Ducks losing 3. So if the Blue Crabs win today and the Ducks lose today, the magic number moves to just 1. Blue Crabs also are in the midst of a 7-game win streak. As if they win today, that would make it 8, which would tie the previous win streak record before this season. The Blue Crabs pulled off a franchise record 12-game winning streak earlier this year. The Barnstormers are a little bit shorthanded. They're missing their cleanup hitter, Kelly Dugan, a number of coaches, and some other bench players due to illness. So the Blue Crabs might have a bit of an edge in that department as well. Well, let's give you the Blue Crabs starting pitcher for today's matchup. It is Mitch Lamson, who is making his 11th start of the year. He comes in with a 3.88 ERA. His numbers have been better in the month of June, where he has a 3.18 ERA. He started June at York, where he went a complete game, allowed just 6 hits, 1 run, and 3 walks through 131 pitches in that game. Lamson's gone 100+ in 5 of his last 7 starts, including 4 consecutive. He went 115 last time out, 120 the time prior, and 131 in the complete game at York. If he's pitching well, expect him to go deep in this one. The Blue Crabs bullpen has been good recently, though. They went 4 1/3 scoreless innings yesterday and pitched a scoreless 10th thanks to Enders Briseño back in Game 1 on Friday night. We're set to go. It's Shawan Dunston who steps in from the left side, and the first pitch from Mitch Lamson is a called strike, and the count no balls and 1 strike on the lefty. Well, we're glad you've decided to join us today as the 0-1 offering. Swinging a line drive, shallow center field, coming in Collier. He's not going to get there. It's a leadoff base hit for Shawan Dunston to get things going for the Barnstormers. Southern Maryland has made a number of lineup changes. We're going to run through the Lancaster batting order first and then give you the Blue Crabs defensive alignment today, as Melvin Mercedes steps in from the right side. Lamson tosses over to first to check on Dunston. Well, the lineup for the Barnstormers is Shawan Dunston Jr., who led things off. He's in center field. Melvin Mercedes bats second. He's at second base. Batting third, it's the first baseman, Andretti Cordero. The cleanup hitter is Ladarius Clark. He plays right field. Trayvon Robinson in the 5 spot. As the pitch, it's a called strike on Melvin Mercedes. In the count, no balls and 1 strike. Trayvon Robinson bats 5th. He's in left. Colton Shaver bats 6th. He's in center field. Anthony Peroni bats 7th. He's the DH. Batting 8th, it's the shortstop, Jake Hoover. And the 9-hitter is Trace Lair. The 0-1 pitch missed a little bit low. Count 1 ball and 1 strike in the top of the first inning. We're glad you've decided to join us as Lamson tosses back over to first base to check on Shawan Dunston. Blue Crabs defensive alignment will start in the outfield as Jack Sundberg in left. In center field, it's Zach Collier. In right field, Matt Hibbert. So Braxton Lee with the day off. The 1-1 pitch, big swing and a miss at a breaking ball, low and out of the zone. In the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. In the infield, it's Ian Yetzko who gets a start at third. Had a chance to speak with Alex Crosby before today's game. We'll give you a bit of an update on that. Michael Wolanski is at shortstop, Raul Shaw at second, and Jared Walker at first base. And it's Joe DeLuca who is doing the catching for Mitch Lamson. The DH for the Blue Crabs today is David Harris. The 1-2 pitch called strike three. Melvin Mercedes knew it. He started walking back to the dugout before today's home plate umpire Jerry Burrish even rung him up. And there's one away in the top of the first inning. Well, Mitch Lamson is known for his strikeouts. Normally guys who don't have overpowering stuff, who pitch below what's known as the velocity line. If you're throwing below 85, 86 miles an hour, the velocity doesn't even play a factor because it's moving slowly enough so the batter can see it. It's all about the movement and the craftiness of a pitcher. And that's what Mitch Lamson brings to the table. And normally those guys have enough movement on their pitches where it's going to induce a lot of ground balls, but they're not going to strike out that many batters. Not the case for Mitch Lamson, who's in the top 5 in the Atlantic League in strikeouts. 65 strikeouts across 65 innings coming in. The pitch, high pop-up, shallow right field. It's Hibbert who moved in a few steps, now takes a couple steps back and makes the catch overhead for the second out. So after surrendering a leadoff single, Melvin Mercedes goes down on strikes, and Andretti Cordero flies out to right field. It's Ladarius Clark who steps in from the right side with 2 outs and a runner on first base. So 65 strikeouts in 65 innings coming in. We'll make that 66 strikeouts in 65 2/3. Lamson's made quick work so far, pitching 7 pitches for the first 2 outs. The first pitch to Clark is inside in the count, 1 ball and no strikes on the righty. Well, Ladarius Clark was 2 for 4 in last night's game as Mitch Lamson tosses over to first base to check on Dunston once more. Had a 15-game hitting streak earlier this year. In this series, overall, 2 for 8. Pitch called strike on the outer edge. Count 1 ball and 1 strike now on the righty Clark. Southern Maryland Blue Crabs have that magic number of 3. We're going to go over how the playoffs work in the Atlantic League in just a couple of moments. 1-1 pitch upcoming, but first Lamson tosses over to first base yet again to check on Dunston. Lamson very preoccupied with Shawan Dunston on first base, who, don't get me wrong, has stolen base ability. Count 1 ball and 1 strike. The American flag blowing out toward right center. And now the pitch, big swing and a miss. Was blowing out toward right center, and now it's blowing in, or over toward left field. The flag's really going all over the place. There's wind, it's just taking it everywhere. 1 ball and 2 strikes after Clark swung and missed at the last pitch. 1-2 offering, breaking ball, strike 3, a pair of Ks for Mitch Lamson in the first inning. He works around a leadoff hit. There's no score at the end of the top of the first. The Blue Crabs are coming to bat when we come back.
This is Andres Riceno, and you are listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
So, what do you like about your home?
Practice like hockey. I practice stick handling and sometimes shooting. Mommy. Go outside sometimes. I like playing lacrosse. Playing the Switch. I like the scribble. Daddy. I like to build Legos at home. I have the biggest closet. Riding my dirt bike.
We help you home. At Hometown Real Estate, we want to help you and your family home. Whatever that takes and whatever that means to you. Give us a call at 888-225-2736 or online at helpyouhomebluecrabs.com.
Well, the first pitch comes in on the leadoff hitter, Jack Sundberg. And it's a called strike from the home plate umpire, Jerry Burrish. And the count, no balls and 1 strike. We'll run you through the Blue Crabs order. It's the bottom of the first inning, no score from the Reg in Waldorf. 0-1 pitch. That's a strike at the knees, and the count, no balls and 2 strikes. We're glad you decided to join us on a Sunday afternoon for baseball. Sunny skies overhead. Cannot find a cloud in the sky, a slight breeze. It is going back out toward left center field now. It's really a breezy day. 0-2 pitch, swinging a line drive, left center field. It's a base hit. Goes all the way to the wall. Sundberg rounds second and applies the brakes. It's a leadoff double, and the Blue Crabs have a man in scoring position to get things started in the bottom of the first inning. Well, didn't even have a chance to go through the lineup or anything. And Jack Sundberg's already got himself a double. So let's go through the lineup at this point. Now we'll be facing Augie Silk, the left-hander from the Barnstormers. Well, it's Sundberg who led things off with a double moments ago. Wolanski bats second. He's at shortstop. Jared Walker bats third. He's at first base. David Harris is the cleanup hitter. He's the designated hitter today. Zach Collier in center field. He bats fifth. It's Joe DeLuca who bats sixth. He's the catcher. Batting seventh, the second baseman, Raul Shaw. The 8 hitter is Matt Hibbert. He is in right field. And closing out the order, playing third base, it is Ian Yetzko. Pitch to Wolanski, swing and a drive, deep left field, back to the warning track at the wall. You can forget about it. He had a 13-game hit streak coming in. He tripled yesterday. He drove in the tying run on Friday night, and he goes deep to give the Blue Crabs a 2-0 lead in the bottom of the first inning. Michael Wolanski is on fire. He hit that ball off of the roof of the clubhouse. It's a 2-0 start for the Blue Crabs. What a hit, and what a series for Jack Sundberg and Michael Wolanski. Sundberg scored a couple of runs on Friday night, but it's Wolanski who had 4 hits on Friday. Drove in a run in the bottom of the 7th inning yesterday and gives the Blue Crabs a 2-0 lead here on Sunday afternoon. Well, here comes Jared Walker. First pitch, called strike. Although the catcher, Colton Shaver, couldn't hold on to it. So a pair of extra base hits to get things started. A double from Jack Sundberg and a 2-run shot from Michael Wolanski. The Blue Crabs all over the Barnstormers. Isn't even an out yet. This one swinging a high fly ball, deep right field, back to the track at the wall. It's back-to-back home runs off the top of the hill. It's Jared Walker who goes deep to right. The Blue Crabs have a 3-0 start over the Barnstormers. First, it's Wolanski with a 2-run blast to left. Then it's a solo shot to right from Jared Walker. his 13th of the season. The Blue Crabs have a 3-0 start, just 3 batters in. Oh my, Augie Silk comes into this ball game and has allowed 3 runs and has not recorded an out yet. I was going to give you his numbers from his last appearance, but the numbers have gotten ugly here in this appearance before we've even gotten started. Well, we'll give you his last numbers right now. We might as well. He went 3 innings, allowed 1 hit, 4 earned runs. He hit 2, he walked 2. First pitch is a called strike on David Harris. He's already allowed 3 times as many hits here in the first inning as he did in all of his last start. The 0-1 pitch, that's low. Count 1 ball and 1 strike. It's 3-0 Southern Maryland. All started with a double from Jack Sundberg. He went the other way. 1 hop the wall off the Blackstone management side. 0-1 pitch. Big, or 1-1 pitch is a big wave and a miss. Count 1 and 2. Well, the base paths are empty because the home runs have cleared the bases. 1-2, that's away. Count 2 balls and 2 strikes. Well, after Sundberg's double, a 2-run blast, and this one was destroyed off the clubhouse ceiling, or the clubhouse roof. 2-2, line drive, foul back behind home plate. Count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes on Harris. Well, a 2-run shot for Wolanski. Then the solo home run from Joe DeLuca. Now it's time for David Harris, who pinch hit in yesterday's ball game and hit one off the top of the wall. This one, swinging a line drive, deep left field. That one's off the Sports Clip sign on the Mini Monster. David Harris rounds first and has to apply the brakes. He's not running all that well right now, but it's 4 consecutive hits to get things started for the Blue Crabs. A double from Sundberg, a 2-run shot from Wolanski, a solo home run from Walker, and a single from the cleanup hitter, David Harris. As I was saying, in yesterday's ball game, hit a double off the top of the batter's eye in center field and straightaway center. He hit that ball 400-plus feet, but the batter's eye is about 15 to 20 feet high out in center field, and hit that ball probably 12 feet up on it. First pitch to Zach Collier from Augie Silk, a lefty-lefty matchup, and it's low and away for ball 1. 4 hits without recording an out in the first inning. It's been that kind of start for Augie Silk. 1-0 pitch, called strike, count 1 and 1. Zach Collier comes into today's game with a .246 batting average, 5 home runs. He's driven in 25 RBIs. Pitch, big wave and a miss. And the count 1 and 2. Well, Michael Wolanski has his hit streak extended to 14 games today. Blue Crabs' record is 17 consecutive. 1-2 pitch, called strike 3. Zach Collier goes down on strikes. A breaking ball right around bell tie. Zach Collier thought it was a little bit high and has a quick discussion with the home plate umpire, Jerry Burrish. The Blue Crabs have scored 3 runs, though, right as Augie Silk records his first out. Well, the pitch count isn't high. Normally, if people allowed 3 runs in the first inning, you'd imagine the pitch count would be very high. He's thrown just 16 pitches. If he can get himself under control, he could still salvage a start out of this. Well, Joe DeLuca bats from the right side. First pitch to DeLuca. Wave and a miss on a breaking ball. That Silk buried low in the dirt. No balls and 1 strike on the switch hitting catcher. DeLuca's played all around the diamond in his career. Played at first base, played at catcher, has also made a few appearances in left field. And the Blue Crabs stash him a DH from time to time. His bat is incredibly important in the order. 0-1, low and in, and the count 1 ball and 1 strike. On the year, DeLuca hitting .301, but has a lot of pop in his bat. 4 home runs and OPS just shy of 900. 1 on, 1 out, 3-0 Blue Crabs. pitch called strike. And the count 1-2 strikes. Well, Lancaster had one hit in the top of the first inning. The hit in the first was a leadoff single off of Mitch Lamson. From there, the Blue Crabs have dominated. 2-run shot from Wolanski, a solo home run from Jared Walker. The first 4 Blue Crabs batters picked up hits. Count 1-2 now on DeLuca. The pitch up and away, count 2-2. So far on the year, Joe DeLuca hitting over 500 from the right side of the plate. His splits last season were actually rather similar. Hit just a touch over 300 from the left side, a touch under 300 from the right side, as the 2-2 pitch comes low and in on him, and the count 3-2 strikes. But this year the splits reversed, hitting very well from the right side, and his numbers from the left side aren't bad, but right around 250 from the left side of the plate, 500 from the right. 2-2 pitch, and that's the strike called strike 3. Joe DeLuca thought it might have been a little low and away, but the home plate umpire, Jerry Burrish, rings up Joe DeLuca. So back-to-back strikeouts from Augie Silk, who allowed some very hard-hit balls to get this one started, but a strikeout to Collier and a strikeout to DeLuca. And here comes Raul Shah. Both those strikeouts looking. Shah comes into this one hitting .253, had a base hit in yesterday's contest that scored the go-ahead run. It may have been a double play ball had it not taken a funny bounce off the mound, which made it a very difficult play for Melvin Mercedes at second, went into his glove and out of his glove and popped up into center field. It was a very well-hit ground ball. As Shaw digs back in. Runner on first base with 2 outs. Here's the pitch from Silk. Line drive, right field, foul. And the count 0-1. Raul Shah at one point earlier this season was the everyday second baseman for the span of about 3 weeks. And he was hitting the ball incredibly well at that time. Batting average north of 360. The pitch is low and in the dirt, gets past the catcher Shaver, which allows David Harris to advance to second base into scoring position. We mentioned this earlier, but he doesn't run particularly well. Probably need a base hit to the gap to score him. As Raul Shah digs back in from the right side. Count 1-1 strike on the right-handed hitter. Went to Johns Hopkins undergrad. 1-1 pitch. Ground ball, third base side deflects foul. Only one of the Blue Crabs everyday infielders, or everyday second base, shortstop, and third base is in the lineup today. That's Michael Wolanski, who's at shortstop. He's played second base most of the year, and Michael Baca gets the day off today. Alex Crosby also has the day off at third base. 1-2 pitch. Bounces in the dirt about a foot in front of home plate. And the count 2 strikes. Runner on second base, 3-0 Blue Crabs. Southern Maryland scored 3 runs in the first 3 batters. 2-run shot from Wolanski, a solo shot from Jared Walker. Silk will now throw his 27th pitch of the first inning. Here's the offering. That's low. Count 3-2. David Harris still leads off of second base. When I talked to Crosby earlier, he said, look, I need a day off. It was a lot of consecutive games. Did not have a hit in yesterday's ball game. which snapped a 9-game hitting streak. And he said, I didn't even know I had a hitting streak, but that's sort of the way it goes with Walker, with Crosby. He gets a hit basically every game. This one, a ground ball over toward third. It's fielded by Allaire. The toss to first is in time to end the first inning. The Blue Crabs have a 3-0 lead at the end of one. We go to the top of the second. Barnstormers coming to bat against Mitch Lamson. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Blue Crabs Baseball on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
This is Patrick Baker, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
American Radiology is the clear choice for all of your medical imaging needs. With locations in Charles and Calvert counties, they offer a full range of imaging services. Some of their latest innovations included 3D mammography and wide-open MRIs for our claustrophobic patients. For your convenience, they even offer extended weekday hours and Saturdays. For more information or to schedule an appointment, visit their website at AmericanRadiology.com.
First pitch is a called strike on the leadoff man here in the second. Trayvon Robinson. Now the 0-1, that's inside. Count 1-1 strike. Top of the second inning. It is a 3-0 Blue Crabs lead. The 1-1 offering. Now that's fouled back to the netting. Count 1 ball and 2 strikes. On the 5-hitter Trayvon Robinson, the Blue Crabs scored 3 runs in the second inning. Or in the bottom of the first inning. Here we are on the top of the second. The 1-2, swing and a miss. Lamson gets Trayvon Robinson chasing. And there's one away. It's his third strikeout. He's recorded 4 outs in this one. And again, the velocity not what's going to overpower these batters. It's the ability to be sort of that crafty lefty. Going to go to the off speed more. His fastball is going to be 82 to 84. First pitch, little away in the count. 1 ball and no strikes now on Colton Shaver. The 0-1, that's a little bit, or the 1-0 actually is a little bit upstairs. Count 2 balls and no strikes. 1 out, top of the second inning. It's a 3-0 start for the Blue Crabs. Here's the 2-0 pitch. That's away in the count, 3 balls and no strikes. Well, the Blue Crabs got the runs on the board early in the first. 2-run home run from Wolanski. Followed it up with a solo shot from Jared Walker. And the 3-0 pitch is a called strike on the outside corner in the count 3-1. Shaver had already taken a step towards first base. He thought he had himself a walk, 3-1. Now that's away, and he does earn a walk. 1 on and 1 out in the top of the second as Lancaster looks to generate some offense. It really hurts the Barnstormers when they are shorthanded their best hitter. It's Kelly Dugan. And when I say best hitter, it's not close. He's one of the top 2 or 3 hitters in the Atlantic League at large. It's he and Courtney Hawkins are really the only 2 in the conversation for that. lead the league in home runs with 17 and 18. And batting average is also right there. For Dugan, he has a slugging percentage of 750, a batting average at 348. And the first pitch is a called strike on Anthony Peroni. Blue Crabs 3, Barnstormers nothing. 1 on, 1 out. The 0-1 called strike. Count 0-2. Clips the inside edge on Peroni. And the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Fans are chanting ice cream. He is the Landon's Ices and Creams K-Man today. And the 0-2 is in the dirt. Count 1 ball and 2 strikes. Nicely blocked by DeLuca to keep it in front of him and keep Colton Shaver at first base. And now the ice cream chants are going. Oh, the 1-2. That's low in the dirt. Count 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 1 out in the top of the second inning. Blue Crabs looking to set down Anthony Peroni. 3 strikeouts already from Mitch Lamson. Here's the pitch. Ground ball towards the gap in short. Wolanski fields. He fires across the diamond to first. It's in time. What a play by Michael Wolanski. All of his momentum taking him to the third base side. He was able to plant and throw across the diamond and in time to beat Peroni. Throw got to Walker on just the short hop. He picked it effectively. And there are 2 on, or there's 1 on second with 2 outs. Jake Hoover now steps in from the right side. 3-0 Blue Crabs in the top of the second inning. Pitch, that's up and away. Count 1 ball and no strikes. Well, after Mitch Lamson set down the Barnstormers in the top of the first, the Blue Crabs responded with 3 runs in the bottom of the first. The 1-0 pitch is upstairs. Count 2 balls and no strikes. The second time in this inning that Mitch Lamson, the starting pitcher, has fallen behind in the count. He walked Colton Shaver and now behind 2-0 on Jake Hoover. 2-0 pitch. That's away. Count 3-0. Well, Mitch Lamson has 3 strikeouts through an inning and 2/3. But he's at risk of walking his second batter. With Shaver on second base and 2 outs. Here's the 3-0 pitch. Called strike on the inner half. And the count 3 balls and 1 strike. Terrific day for baseball on a Sunday afternoon in Charles County. Swinging a ground ball, first base side on the 3-1. It's fielded by Walker. The underhand flip to Lamson, and that ends the top of the second inning. The end of 1.5. It's the Blue Crabs who have a 3-1 lead over the Barnstormers. We go to the bottom of the second inning on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
This is Matt Latos, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
This is Patrick Baker, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
Well, you just heard from Patrick Baker. He went an inning in the third in yesterday's ball game. Struck out 3 batters. Did not allow a base runner. Blue Crabs in the bottom of the second inning. Now they lead 3-0. The first pitch is a called strike on Matt Hibbert. He checked his swing, but it was in the zone nonetheless, according to the home plate umpire, Jerry Burish. Augie Silk ran into trouble in the bottom of the first inning. 0-1 pitch, wave and a miss in the count, 0-2. Matt Hibbert behind in the count, no balls and 2 strikes. The pitch, that's low and in. And the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes on Hibbert. Oh, was he called out on strikes? Oh, strike 3 nonetheless. I didn't see him swing at it. It looked way upstairs. Either way, it's called strike 3, and there's 1 away. Well, it's strike 3. There is 1 out. First pitch to Ian Yetzko is fouled away, first base side, and the count 0-1. Bottom of the second inning, the Blue Crabs have a 3-0 lead over the Barnstormers. Those 3 runs scored from the first 3 batters. 0-1 pitch is low in the count. 1 ball and 1 strike. One offering, line drive, center field, base hit. Ian Yetzko aboard. There's a 1-out base hit from Ian Yetzko. Ian Yetzko has had a pretty good season, all things considered. His batting average just jumped into the mid-290s with that most recent hit. Ian Yetzko has put together a good season despite the fact he hasn't played all that much. He's been making a lot of pinch hitting appearances, pinch running appearances, as the first pitch is low on Jack Sundberg. But his batting average remains strong. Well, with that hit all the way up to 299, in fact. Runner on first base and 1 out. And it's tough as a pinch hitter and someone who doesn't get starts every day because the pressure's on when you do get that appearance that you have to produce. As the first pitch was low and away to Sundberg. The 1-0, a called strike. Count 1 ball and 1 strike on Jack Sundberg, who bats from the left side. He got the rally started in the first. 1-1 pitch, called strike, paints the outside corner. And the count 1 ball and 2 strikes. Bottom of the second inning, the Blue Crabs have a 3-0 lead. 2-run shot from the man on deck, Michael Wolanski, and a solo home run from Jared Walker. 1-2, high pop-up foul territory. Third base side gets over toward the Legends Club. And the count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. Ian Yetzko punched a single up the middle. That was the 5th Blue Crabs hit of the afternoon. This one swinging a slow ground ball over toward third, fielded by Laird to second for 1, back onto first, not close. A fielder's choice. And it is Jack Sundberg on first base. And here comes Michael Wolanski. First pitch to Wolanski is low. It was the first pitch of his first at-bat when he blasted a 2-run shot onto the clubhouse in left field. That one hit 400-plus feet easily. Runner goes, 1-0 pitch is away. Throw down to second, not in time as Sundberg steals second base. It's his 15th stolen base of the season. He stole 48 bases last year in the Frontier League. He's on second base now with 2 outs. The Blue Crabs looking to add an insurance run here in the second. Already ahead 3-0. At this point in the game, get as many runs as you can. 2-0 pitch, that's low in the count. 3 balls and no strikes. 2 away in the bottom of the second. A single from Ian Yetzko. Fielder's choice from Jack Sundberg. There's 1 on with 2 outs. 3-0 pitch to Wolanski. Called strike on the inner half in the count. 3 balls and 1 strike. And Augie Silk has settled down nicely since his very difficult start. First 4 batters picked up hits. The first 3 batters scored on 2 home runs. 3-1 pitch, fouled away first base side. Count 3 balls and 2 strikes. And the ability to fight back after allowing the 2-run shot to Wolanski and the solo home run to Walker before David Harris ripped one to left and record the next 3 outs. Pretty impressive. And then to only allow 1 base hit here in the second. 3-2 pitch, close but low. Wolanski takes ball 4, and there are runners on first and second now. Still 2 outs in the bottom of the second. Brings up Jared Walker, who went deep to left field to give the Blue Crabs a 3-0 lead. Well, it will be Walker if necessary, followed by David Harris as the Blue Crabs look to add to that 3-0 start. They had 3 in the first, and with 2 outs here in the second, they've got 2 on. The lefty Augie Silk is set. His 46th pitch of the outing. That's a little bit low and away. Just as I said, he was starting to pitch better. He walks Wolanski, and then a first pitch ball to Jared Walker. All 3 runs in this ball game came from the first 3 batters in the bottom of the first inning for the Blue Crabs. 1-0 pitch, called strike, thigh level in the count, 1 ball and 1 strike. Jared Walker hitting .263. He has 2 home runs in this series. Went the other way on a 3-run home run back in game 1 of this series. Pitch, line drive, foul to the concourse level. A fan tries to catch it in his hat. It deflects off of his forearm. He goes and chases it down the steps. He wants a souvenir from this ball game. And a little kid, maybe 10 years old, was chasing after it. He lost the race. Another fan's got a souvenir, though. It's always fun to come to the ball game and catch a foul ball. You got to be concourse level. That's the spot. Check swing from Walker. And he got a piece of it. The count, 1 ball and 2 strikes now on the lefty. Runner on second base. Runners on first and second with 2 outs. So Wolanski from first after his walk. Sundberg from second. Reached on a fielder's choice and stole second base. The Wasps are out today. I can see them. They're massive as the 1-2 pitch is lined foul. Third base side toward the concourse. 2 or 3 inches in length. Saw them flying out in front of us. And all you can say is, I hope it doesn't come near me. Those might be dragonflies, in fact. We had these massive wasps near our broadcast booth earlier this year. 1-2 pitch is fouled away. Third base side. I had to do away with one of them. It was just too much commotion up here in the broadcast booth. 1 ball and 2 strikes with 2 outs in the bottom of the second inning. 3-0 Blue Crabs over the Barnstormers. We'll get to our trivia question. We have some more Civil War trivia left over from yesterday, and we'll get back to that here in the second inning. The pitch to Walker. That's low, and the count 2 balls and 2 strikes. This will be the 8th pitch upcoming from Augie Silk to Jared Walker. Pitch number 53 of his outing, and we're still in the second inning. I talked about back in the first how Augie Silk could really make a start out of this. But when the pitch count's so high, it makes it difficult. 2-2 pitch. That's inside. Count 3-2. He was pounding the strike zone for a while, throwing right around 90 with a fastball, hitting 91 and 92, and mixing in a slider from time to time. But missing on back-to-back pitches, not wildly, just a little bit outside and a little bit inside. Count full at 3 balls and 2 strikes on Walker. 2 on, 2 out, bottom of the second. Pitch, swing and a miss. Augie Silk rebounds. He was up in the count 1-2. He fell behind 3-2 and strikes out Walker to end the bottom of the second inning. The Blue Crabs strand 2 at the end of 2. It's 3-0 Southern Maryland. You're listening to Blue Crabs Baseball on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
All Pawn is Southern Maryland's premier pawn shop and is the official pawn shop of the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. Stop by and say hello today. They've been a part of the Southern Maryland community for 18 years. If you need some cash to hold you over, or if you're just doing some spring cleaning and want to clear some stuff out, please bring it by All Pawn and let them make you an offer. If you have broken jewelry or some that you just don't want anymore, please bring it by and they'll pay you more than anyone in the Tri-County area. They're located on 301 in White Plains, just south of DeMar Road. Go Blue Crabs!
Well, we are back in the top of the third inning as the Lancaster Barnstormers will face off, will send Jake Hoover, or beg your pardon, Trace Laird to the plate. First pitch to the lefty is a called strike. And the count, no balls and 1 strike. Blue Crabs, magic number 3 to clinch this division. 0-1 offering. It's a called strike, and the count 0-2. The 0-2 breaking ball, swinging and a miss, strike 3. And there is one away. The Long Island Ducks have a 5-0 lead over the Wild Health Genomes. The Blue Crabs would need a Ducks loss and a Blue Crabs win to clinch, to get this within 1, and then they could clinch on Tuesday. Otherwise, if the Ducks keep on winning and the Blue Crabs keep on winning, couldn't happen until Wednesday up in Staten Island. 1-0 pitch to the leadoff man, Siobhan Dunstan. That's a called strike, and the count 1 ball and 1 strike. So after Trace Lair goes down swinging, there's one away. 1-1 pitch. A little bit low. Count 2 balls and 1 strike. 2-1, shot foul, first base side. Count 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. The pitch from Lamson, check swing. And now the count goes full at 3 balls and 2 strikes. The 3-2 pitch. That's called strike 3. It's the home plate umpire, Jerry Burrish, who punches out Siobhan Dunstan. And back-to-back Ks for Mitch Lamson. He has 5 strikeouts through 2 2/3. First pitch called strike on the inside corner. And the count, no balls and 1 strike on Melvin Mercedes, who bats from the right side. 0-1. That's low. Count 1 ball and 1 strike. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. Here's the offering from Lamson. Up and away. And the count 2-1. The Southern Maryland Blue Crabs coming to this one with a 40-12 record. 2-2, line drive foul, first base side on Mercedes. And the count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs. A couple of strikeouts from Mitch Lamson already in the top of the third, looking to retire the side. The 2-2 pitch, line drive, deep left field. This one's going to go off the UA local sign. Strong throw from Jack Sundberg is going to hold Melvin Mercedes at a long single, a very long single at that. And there is 1 on with 2 outs. Runner on first base as Andretti Cordero will come to the plate. Cordero, one of the top hitters easily for this Barnstormers team. Normally it's Kelly Dugan in that cleanup spot, and he follows Andretti Cordero, who's got some real pop in the bat. Hits nearly 300 and can hit against well-established pitchers as well. First pitch called strike on the outside corner. And the count, no balls and 1 strike now on the righty. 0-1. Wave and a miss. Count 0-2. Lamson a strike away from striking out the side and picking up his 6th strikeout through 3 innings. The strikeout numbers way up in the month of May. We'll get those official numbers to you after this. As the 0-2 pitch, a swing and a miss. It's his 6th strikeout in just 2 innings. Mitch Lamson continues to dominate as the Blue Crabs have a 3-0 lead. I told you I'd give you the June strikeout numbers from Mitch Lamson while we have a second. And across 22 innings, he has 29 strikeouts. We'll make that across 25 innings. He has 35 strikeouts if you include today's numbers. As Mitch Lamson continues to deal through 2.5 innings of play, it's the Blue Crabs 3 and the Barnstormers nothing. Don't go anywhere.
This is Patrick Baker, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
Well, the first pitch is low for ball one on David Harris, who gets things started in the bottom of the third inning. 3-0 Blue Crabs. The 1-0 pitch. Big wave and a miss. Count 1 ball and 1 strike on the righty, David Harris. Well, Mitch Lamson has pitched a gem through 2.5. This one swinging a ground ball up the middle for a base hit. And the leadoff batter has reached base for the Blue Crabs. And this is 2 of the first 3 innings now, the leadoff man on. Back in the first, the Blue Crabs started quite a rally right off the bat. It was a double from Sundberg, a 2-run shot from Wolanski, a solo home run from Walker, and a double from Harris. The 0-1 pitch, the first pitch to Crosby, I should say, is a called strike, and the count, no balls and 1 strike. Well, sports are going on across the professional ranks today and the amateur ranks. We'll get to that in just a couple of moments. 0-1 delivery. High fly ball, third base side, foul territory. It's going to get up into the seats. Takes a couple of deflections. About 10 rows deep. Couple fans fighting for it. And one comes away with it. Count, no balls and 2 strikes now on Collier. Runner on first base and nobody out. The Blue Crabs ahead by 3 in the third. Augie Silk steps off, and it's about time now we can talk about some of the other sports going on. Well, the NBA Finals is finished, and the NHL have the day off. Baseball going on, and the College World Series is ongoing. The 0-2 pitch is away. Count 1 ball and 2 strikes. They're working on an every other day format for now, as it's Texas and Texas A&M who are playing in an elimination game. It's a 2-2 ball game in the second inning with 2 on. The 1-1 pitch, high chopper over towards second base. Charging in, it's Mercedes who fields chest high and tosses over to first. And there is one away. Later tonight, it's Notre Dame and Oklahoma in the winner's bracket. So the winner of that game will go to the final series, or the finals of that region. Gets a little bit complicated, but for all intents and purposes, the winner of that game goes to the Final Four and has a leg up to go to the College World Series Finals. Runner on second with 1 out. First pitch, foul back from Joe DeLuca on the count, 0-1. Bottom of the third inning, the Blue Crabs have a 3-0 lead over the Barnstormers. In other College World Series news, there were only 2 of the top 8 seeds who made it to the final 8 in the World Series. As the 0-1 pitch is low and in, and the count 1-1. And by tomorrow, both of those seeds could be out. Stanford took a beating yesterday, 17-2 against Arkansas. So they're in the loser's bracket. We're the second overall seed in the country. 1-1 pitch. Check swing. DeLuca held up in the count, 2 balls and 1 strike. 3-0 Blue Crabs, runner on second base with 1 out. So funny enough, the 4 teams that are in the winners bracket in the College World Series, none of them are in the were one of the top 16 seeds. The top 4 teams for now were not among the 16 ranked. 2-1 pitch, high chopper over toward third. It's fielded by Lair. He tosses over to first, and there are 2 away. Not sure if Jake Hoover thought that was the end of the inning or not, but he went over to third base. It may have been to back up Hoover, but I don't think so. I think he might have thought we were done. And now he puts up the 2 outside. Well, now you know. After Lair threw to first to get DeLuca. 2 away in the bottom of the 3rd inning. 3-0 Blue Crabs over the Barnstormers. And it brings up Raul Shah. 3 runs on 6 hits for Southern Maryland. First pitch is low. And the count 1 ball and no strikes on Raul Shah. 1 on with 2 outs in the 3rd inning. This one swinging a high fly ball, deep right center field. That one's going to get in for a base hit and extra bases. Harris scores from second. Shah rounds second and applies the brakes. It's an RBI double to right center field, and the Blue Crabs extend the lead to 4-0. Raul Shah picks up hits in back-to-back games, and the Blue Crabs have a 4-0 lead. Well, Raul Shah punched home the game-winning run yesterday. Gave the Blue Crabs a 6-5 lead at the time. Raul Shah would later come around and score via a sacrifice fly. But he ropes a double to right center field. So it's Shah who leads off of second. With 2 outs, first pitch to Matt Hibbert, a called strike. Count no balls and 1 strike. The Blue Crabs, 4 runs on 7 hits for the Barnstormers. No runs on 2 hits. Bottom of the 3rd inning with 2 away. 0-1 pitch to Hibbert. Just off the outside edge, and the count 1 ball and 1 strike. Solid crowd on hand here at the Reagan Waldorf on a Sunday afternoon. Perfect day to watch some baseball. Not too hot, not too cold. Slight breeze. This one swinging a ground ball over to third. Fielded on the forehand by Lair. He spins and fires to first. It's in time to get Matt Hibbert to end the 3rd inning. The Blue Crabs score 1 run on 2 hits. At the end of 3, it's 4-0 Southern Maryland. We go to the top of the 4th when we come back on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
This is Daryl Thompson, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
Chick-fil-A of Charles County has been a proud supporter of the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs since their inception in 2008. For years, they have sponsored the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs, America's prisoners of war and missing in action. In between the 2nd inning of each game, there is a moment of silence brought to you by Chick-fil-A. The Southern Maryland Blue Crabs appreciate and respect not only Chick-fil-A, but all of those that have served our great country. The seat that they sponsor was made possible by Chick-fil-A of Charles County. Thank you so much, and visit any of your Charles County Chick-fil-A locations today.
Well, we are back in the top of the fourth inning. First pitch from Mitch Lamson, line drive, deep left center field, back, and it is Jack Sundberg reaching out and making the catch in front of the wall. Oh, a terrific catch from Jack Sundberg, or I beg your pardon, that's Zach Collier in straightaway center field, who reeled that ball in and made the catch for the first out. Sundberg was in center last night. He's in left tonight. It was Zach Collier who tracked that ball down and made the catch for the first out. Very well hit ball from Andretti Cordero. And now the first pitch is swung on and popped up. Left field side, it's the shortstop, Michael Wilansky back there, who makes the catch. That's going to bring up Colton Shaver. 2 pitches and 2 outs for Mitch Lamson here in the top of the fourth inning. Colton Shaver comes to the plate. Here's the pitch to Shaver. It's a called strike. The 0-1 pitch. That's low and away. The count 1 ball, 1 strike. Nobody on. As Mitch Lamson has hit the 50 pitch mark in this ball game. And he's going at a pretty solid pace, on pace for about 7 2/3 through 100 pitches. As the 1-1 pitch, swing and a miss, count 1 ball and 2 strikes. And again, Lamson's not going to overpower you with this stuff. He's throwing 82 right now on the fastball. 1-2 pitches away, count 2-2. The last fastball peaked at 84. The curveball, low 70s, but it's the change in the pitches, it's the movement on the pitches. 2-2 pitch, fouled away, first base side. Count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. It's the other things you can do that will contribute to having a solid start. 2-2 pitch, swinging a high pop-up, left field. Now this one floating back to the warning track at the wall. It is Zach Collier who reaches up and can't quite get it. It's a home run for Colton Shaver. That ball looked like a high pop-up off the bat, but the wind just kept on carrying and carrying and carrying it. And a solo shot to deep left field. Collier reached up. I thought he might have made the catch. But it's a solo shot from Colton Shaver. And it is a 4-1 ball game. Well, just like that, after Mitch Lamson had been pitching so incredibly well through 3 2/3 innings, he allows a solo home run to left field. Well, the first pitch now to Anthony Peroni is fouled away. Four to 1 ball game. As the pitch is a called strike now on Peroni in the count 0-2. Lamson gets the sign from his catcher. It's Joe DeLuca tonight. The 0-2. A little bit low in the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. The ice cream chants are back. Anthony Peroni grounded out his first time up. Fans want some ice cream from Landon's Ices and Creams. 1-2 pitch, a little bit upstairs in the count, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two-two offering. Awfully close. DeLuca wanted strike 3. He didn't get it from the home plate umpire, Jerry Burish. And the count remains 3 balls and 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. High pop-up, shallow right field. It's the right fielder Hibbert who calls off Raul Shah and makes the catch in right for the final out. The Barnstormers get one back on a solo shot from Colton Shaver. We're finished with 3.5. It's 4-1 Blue Crabs at the end of the top of the fourth inning. You're listening to Blue Crabs Baseball on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
This is Dalton Geeky, and you're listening to Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
This is Matt Latos, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
Well, the first pitch to Ian Yetzko, who gets things started, is away for ball one. Count 1 ball and no strikes in the bottom of the fourth inning. 1-0 pitch. Popped it up, first base side, and it's going to get into the seats. And the count, no balls, or 1 ball and 1 strike. Ian Yetzko knocked a single into center field his first time up. Count 1 ball and 1 strike on the righty. Here's the pitch. That's low. The count 2-1. Well, Raul Shah punched an RBI double to right center back in the third. And now the 1-1 pitch. Big wave and a miss from Yetzko, and the count 1-2. The RBI double gave the Blue Crabs a 4-1 lead as it scored David Harris from second base. The pitch, that one swung on and missed. It's in the dirt, and now it's going to be Yetzko who takes off for first base. I'm not sure if they called that a swing or not, or if he just took off and stole first base. So it was a swing and a miss. It was a drop third strike. I couldn't quite tell if he'd just taken off on the steal because it looked like a check swing. But Yetzko took off for first. And he's aboard with a strikeout swinging in the dirt on a wild pitch. Well, it's possible for Augie Silk to go with a 4 strikeout inning, which is about as rare gets. I think it probably goes impeccable innings, which is a 9-pitch, 3 strikeout inning, which is, again, incredibly rare. And then you probably have the 4 strikeout inning. It's there with the perfect game. I mean, talk about things that just don't happen every day. First pitch, and Sundberg showed bunt. It's a called strike. I was fortunate to call a 4 strikeout inning back when I was in Cape Cod. A left-handed pitcher who later played for Team USA. This one popped up, third base side. It's the third baseman Lair back behind the bag, and he makes the catch for the first out. The pitcher now in AAA. The time, though, he was in college. And he had a 4-strikeout inning in the Cape Cod Baseball League. And this start, he was just striking out everybody. And then one of his strikeouts got away from the catcher and still struck out the side. No 4-strikeout inning for Augie Silk here after the pop out from Jack Sundberg. And the first pitch swinging from Michael Wolanski, and the count 0-1. 4-1 Blue Crabs. 3 in the first, 1 in the third, and the Barnstormers got one back in the top of the fourth. We'll get to our trivia question in the top of the fifth. 0-1 pitch. That's in. Count 1 ball and 1 strike. We've got some leftover Civil War trivia from last night from the Blue Crabs Juneteenth celebration, so we'll work with some of that. 1-1 pitch, line drive, right field, base hit. Michael Wolanski with another hit. It's Yetzko going to third base, who pulls on the brakes after he steps on third. And it's a single to right field from Michael Wolanski. Another base hit for the righty, who is absolutely on fire recently. Today he's 2 for 2, a home run, a walk, and a single. In yesterday's game, he was 1 for 4, but he had an RBI triple. And for Father's Day, it's Jared Walker who has the Baby Shark walk-up song. We wish all fathers out there a happy Father's Day today. All the fathers out here at the ballpark. The pitch, line drive through the right side. It's a base hit. Yetzko comes home from third. It's Wolanski from first to third. An RBI single from Jared Walker. The Blue Crabs have a 5-1 lead in the bottom of the fourth inning. They just continue to produce off of Augie Silk, who has thrown 80 pitches. Control really hasn't been a major issue for him. He's thrown 53 strikes, but things have gone from bad to worse here in the fourth inning. He's gone just 3.1 innings, 3 1/3, and allowed 5 runs, and he's still responsible for the 2 on base. Things were bad in the first, and they really haven't gotten any better. It's manager for the Barnstormers, Ross Peoples, out on the mound. He is the only member of the coaching staff who is able to coach right now due to illness that has struck the Barnstormers team. And Ross Peoples having a discussion with the lefty Augie Silk, and it looks like he's going to keep him in this ball game. The real issue for Lancaster is the lack of bench that they have right now. If they go to a relief pitcher by Atlantic League rules, you lose the designated hitter for the remainder of the ball game. And without having a bench, they would have to have the pitcher bat from there on out, but that's a decision you have to make. If your starting pitcher just doesn't have it and is going to continue to allow runs, you'd rather the team not allow 2 or 3 more runs and your pitcher have to bat for the rest of the game, as far as the alternative, which is you keep allowing runs and you keep your DH. And the designated hitter tonight is this one, swinging a high fly ball. It's deep left, deep center field. It's Shawan Dunston back in front of the warning track, and he makes the catch. That ball was ripped. David Harris got every bit of that ball to straightaway center field, and from third base, it's Michael Wolanski who scores another run. It's a 6-1 ball game, a sacrifice fly from David Harris, who destroyed that ball to center. It's a 5-run lead from the Blue Crabs in the bottom of the fourth inning with 2 away as Zach Collier comes to the plate. If you would like a shout out in today's game, please comment in the YouTube chat. We'll definitely make sure to give you a shout out today. First pitch called, strike at the knees, count 0-1. We'd love to give shout outs here on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network as a way to connect to all of our terrific listeners. And it's a privilege to be able to broadcast to you. We want to be able to know who it is that's actually listening. Pitch, line drive toward left field, to right field, I should say. It's the right fielder, Ladarius Clark, who moves in and makes a basket catch toward knee level for the final out in the bottom of the fourth inning. The Blue Crabs tack on 2 more runs. They strand 2 at the end of 4. It's 6-1 Southern Maryland. Mitch Lamson back out for his 5th inning of work when we come back on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
American Radiology is the clear choice for all of your medical imaging needs. With locations in Charles and Calvert counties, they offer a full range of imaging services. Some of their latest innovations included 3D mammography and wide-open MRIs for our claustrophobic patients. For your convenience, they even offer extended weekday hours and Saturdays. For more information or to schedule an appointment, visit their website at AmericanRadiology.com. When you're in the market to buy or sell a home, call Tony McClure of Century 21 New Millennium and his Grand Slam team, the realtor of the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs since our first season in 2008. Tony and his team of preferred partners includes Tim Murphy of CNF Mortgage and Steve Scott of the Scott Law Group. Together, they will ensure that your real estate needs are nothing short of a grand slam. The quality service you will receive is Hall of Fame worthy. Put Tony's 41 plus years of experience to work for you. Call or text Tony today at 301-928-1280 for your personal Grand Slam experience. Go Blue Crabs.
We bring you back in the top of the 5th inning. It is Jake Hoover will get things started for the Barnstormers. 6-1 Blue Crabs. As Mitch Lamson fires. First pitch called strike on the outside corner to Jake Hoover, who looked back at the home plate umpire Jerry Burrish with a look of disapproval. And the count, no balls and 1 strike nonetheless. 0-1, big wave and a miss. Count, no balls and 2 strikes. Mitch Lamson has thrown 62 pitches through 4 innings of work. And he's struck out 6. 0-2 offering. Swing and a miss. Oh, swing and a foul tip, I should say. And the count remains no balls and 2 strikes. No balls, 2 strikes, nobody out. Top of the 5th inning, the Blue Crabs put up 2 more runs in the 4th inning to take a 6-1 lead. The 0-2 pitch just a little bit upstairs. Bell tie and just call the ball. Someone said strike 3. I'm not sure if that was a fan or a player or who that was. Here is the 1-2 pitch. That's low. Count 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Nobody out in the 6th inning. Two offering. Check swing. They motion down to first. Did he go around? It's the first base umpire, Bill Worthington, who said no, he held up. Count full now on Jake Hoover. Three-two. Line drive foul, first base side. And the count remains 3 balls and 2 strikes. Three and 2 with nobody out in the top of the 5th inning. Pitch is a little bit inside. It's ball 4. And Jake Hoover is aboard to get things started. Mitch Lamson hasn't had too many control issues throughout his start. And that was just the second batter that Lamson has walked. He struck out 6. He's allowed 3 hits. And he's walked 2 now through 4 innings of play. Well, that brings Trace Lair to the plate. He struck out back in the first inning and takes a called strike in the count 0-1. Now the flag is blowing out towards center field. That may have had a real impact on that home run ball from Colton Shaver. This one swinging a ground ball toward first. The throw to second for one. Back on to first. It's a double play. 1-6-3 double play. And there are 2 away in the 5th. Oh, perfectly executed. It was the first baseman Walker who fielded it, threw to short, or threw to second base. It was the shortstop Michael Wolanski who fielded it and fired to first to the covering Mitch Lamson, and there are 2 away. Top of the 5th inning, it's a 6-1 ball game with the Blue Crabs. Have just turned a marvel of a defensive play. The bats are going today. 1 run on 3 hits for the Barnstormers, 6 runs on 9 hits for the Blue Crabs. First pitch bunt is foul from Siobhan Dunstan. But a 3-6-1 double play. Not the most untraditional of double play balls. You'll see here's some crazy ones. But you'll see 1-6-3 more than 3-6-1. But a terrific job fielding his position nonetheless. The pitch swinging a line drive, shallow center field, and it's going to bounce in between everybody. Sort of that Bermuda Triangle play when you had the 3 fielders converging all at once. It was the center fielder Collier with the shortstop Wolanski and the second baseman Raul Shah. And no one could quite get there. So a single from Siobhan Dunstan. It's a bloop single to center field. And there's 1 on with 2 outs. Blue Crabs' magic number is 3. They would need a win and a loss if they were able to clinch. If they had going to be able to clinch officially on Tuesday, as the pitch is swung on and lifted to right field. We'll talk more about the magic number and what's needed for the Blue Crabs to clinch the division when we come back, as it was Matt Hibbert who made the catch in right center field to end the top of the 5th inning. We're halfway done from the Reg in Waldorf. When we come back, it's the Blue Crabs coming to bat.
This is David Harris, and you're listening to Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
Well, we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. A couple things to get into as Joe DeLuca steps to the plate. Augie Silk back out there for the 5th inning of play. 6-1 Blue Crabs. First pitch, called strike of the belt. The first one I want to get into is our trivia question, and then we're going to get into the magic number. So, Juneteenth marks the day that the Union soldiers rode into Galveston, Texas to free the slaves. As the 0-1 pitch is a called strike, and now the count 0-2 on Joe DeLuca. But what was the official date that the Civil War ended? Give me the date and the year. That's our trivia question today. Some more Civil War trivia. 0-2 pitch, called strike 3 on the inside corner. Joe DeLuca, not a big fan of Jerry Burrish's call. But either way, there is one away in the bottom of the 5th inning. What was the date that the Civil War ended? Juneteenth marks the day that the Union soldiers marked a declaration in Galveston, Texas that all of the slaves were free. But what was the day that the Civil War ended? Blue Crabs celebrated Juneteenth last night. So, keeping with some of that Civil War trivia. First pitch to Shaw is rolled over on the ground towards short. It's fielded by Jake Hoover. He fires the first, and they're 2 away. Blue Crabs have a 6-1 lead, but there are now 2 down in the 5th. Let's see if we can have enough time to discuss the magic number. So what is the magic number? It's the number of games the Blue Crabs need to win or the Ducks need to lose, a combination. So the magic number is 3. If the Blue Crabs win 2 and the Ducks lose 1, the Blue Crabs clinch. The Blue Crabs win 3, the Ducks don't lose. The Blue Crabs still clinch. So if they're going to officially clinch on Tuesday without having to worry about the Ducks, the Blue Crabs would need to win and the Ducks would need to lose. Does not look like that's happening right now as the first pitch is fouled off by Hibbert. The Blue Crabs have a 6-1 lead, but the Ducks have a 7-0 lead. They're going to try to prolong this clinch as long as possible. 0-1 pitch is low and in. Count 1 ball and 1 strike with 2 away in the bottom of the 5th inning. It's 6-1. The magic number 3 for the Blue Crabs. The way the playoffs work, we'll get to that after this. Swinging a line drive into left center field for a base hit. Matt Hibbert aboard with a single. Meanwhile, Shawan Johnston has lost his cap. And now Hibbert going for 2. He slides in safely. It's a 2-out double for Matt Hibbert. You want a guy who runs out every ball and puts everything on the line when he goes out there and goes to the plate. It's Matt Hibbert, who ropes the ball into left center. And there's 1 on with 2 outs. A 2-out double for Hibbert. Here comes Ian Yetzko. Ian Yetzko is 1 for 2 today. He reached twice, though. He reached on a swinging strike 3 on a wild pitch. The first pitch to Yetzko rolled over to short yet again. It's Hoover who's got it. He tosses to first, and that ends the 5th inning. We'll go into more depth on the playoffs. Hopefully we'll have time in the top of the 6th inning. A very quick bottom of the 5th. The Blue Crabs still have a 6-1 lead as Mitch Lamson heads back out to the mound. Stick with us in the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network. back in the top of the 6th answer. Didn't take long for our trivia question to get solved, as the first pitch is a called strike on the leadoff hitter in the inning. It's Andretti Cordero, who bats third for the Barnstormers. 3, 4, and 5 due up. 0-1 pitch is drilled foul, third base side, and the count 0-2. Top of the 6th inning, 6-1 Blue Crabs as Cordero digs back in from the right side. We'll give you the answer to our trivia question after this pitch. Mitch Lamson the offering. Low and in. And the count 1 ball and 2 strikes. So the question was, although Juneteenth is celebrated on June 19th due to the freeing of the slaves in Galveston, Texas, what was the official end date to the Civil War? And we had a couple people who jumped in. It was J.C. Moore who got the answer first. April 9th, 1865. And 5 days later, it was Abraham Lincoln, the heroic president who was assassinated, as the 0-2 pitch was chopped foul, third base side, and the count 1-2. Brian Houck was close. He said April 8th, 1865. Wes Mumper's got some additional data, too. We'll bring that in a moment. 1-2 pitch. A little bit low, and the count 2 balls and 2 strikes. Although President Johnson, he says, signed a proclamation in August of 1866, officially ending the war. 2-2 pitch, grounded foul yet again, and the count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes on Cordero. So it ended in 1865 on April 9th. The war proclamation signed in 1866, and all of the slaves were freed on June 19th of 1865. Took a couple of months before the news was spread down to Galveston, Texas. 2-2 pitch, line drive foul. And the count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. The 13th Amendment was passed by Congress on January 31st of 1865. That was the amendment that abolished slavery in the U.S. and ratified on December 6th. Two balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Cordero goes down swinging, and he jumps twice on home plate. He's not happy as he swings and misses at a high fastball. And there's one away. It was the 7th strikeout from Lamson this evening. Lamson's thrown 83 pitches through 5 1/3. Doesn't look like he's going to go the entire distance. But I could see him going 7, maybe even into the 8th with the pitch counts he's had recently. First pitch is away to Ladarius Clark. The count 1 ball and no strikes here in the 6th. This one, swinging a high fly ball, left center field, rather deep. It sends Sundberg back to the warning track at the wall, and he makes the catch. And there are 2 away. Long fly out from Ladarius Clark, who got a good piece of hitting on that ball. But 2 away. Blue Crabs looking for their 8th straight win. We're also going to discuss the playoffs right now. We'll get into the win streak directly thereafter. So in the Atlantic League, there are 2 divisions, the North Division and the South Division. The season is split up into 2 66-game halves. So in the first half, well, it's the winner of the division in the first half in both the North and the South, and then the winner of the division in the second half. As the pitch, check swing, you go down to first, and Bill Worthington said that he held up in the count 1 ball and no strikes on Trayvon Robinson, who bats from the right side. One 1-0 delivery. Chop foul over to the third base side, and the count 1 ball and 1 strike. So the Blue Crabs could clinch the first half divisional title as soon as Tuesday with a little bit of help from Long Island. Otherwise, they could do it on Wednesday with no help from Long Island. The 1-1 pitch, a little bit up, And the count 2-1 strike. 6-1, the Blue Crabs lead the Barnstormers. And by clinching the North Division in the first half, they would also clinch a playoff spot. 2-1 pitch, called strike on the inner half, and the count 2 strikes. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Top of the 6th inning. 6-1, the Blue Crabs advantage. 2-2 pitch. Low in the dirt, nicely blocked by the catcher, Joe DeLuca. And the count full at 3-2. On Trayvon Robinson, who's 0 for 2. He popped up to shortstop, and he struck out back in the second. For Mitch Lamson, this will be his 91st pitch of the evening. Here's the 3-2. Pop up in foul territory. It's Jared Walker who reaches over and can't quite get there. Might have deflected partially off his glove as he was a little late in getting to that pop-up in foul territory. So far, Lamson has gone 5 2/3. 7 strikeouts, allowed just 1 run on 4 hits. But Trayvon Robinson alive here in the 6th. 3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He went around that time, tried to check his swing. He could not. It's strikeout number 8 for Mitch Lamson, who was finished with 6 innings. And the Blue Crabs will come to the bat when we come back. In the bottom of the 6th, the Blue Crabs have a 6-1 lead on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network. Well, the Blue Crabs will look to add to their 6-1 lead in the bottom of the 6th inning. It is Jack Sundberg who comes to the plate. Still going up against Augie Silk, who is pitching into the 6th inning. First pitch called strike on Sundberg in a lefty-lefty matchup. Silk settled down after he allowed 2 runs in the 4th. Pitched a scoreless 5th. And now here in the 6th inning, as the 0-1 pitch is a called strike, count 0-2. Sundberg is 1 for 3 today. This one a line drive foul, and the count remains no balls and 2 strikes. Bottom of the 6th inning, a 6-1 lead for the Blue Crabs. The Lancaster Barnstormers and muster just 1 run today. 0-2, swinging a slow chopper back to the mound. Augie Silf, a tough throw, and then it is in time at first base for the first out. And there is 1 away in the bottom of the 6th inning. It brings up Michael Wolanski, who's 2 for 2. He's also driven in 2 runs and walked once. Hit a 2-run shot back in the first inning. They got the Blue Crabs on the board. We will be joined shortly by the outstanding Andrew Banstra, who has come up in the bottom of the 6th inning. As always, happy to have the outstanding Andrew Banstra, who now does a lot of work down on the field as well. We can't get to him in the bottom of the 6th. We'll definitely have him on for the top of the 7th. As the pitch to Michael Wolanski is a little bit inside. And the count, 2 balls and no strikes on Wolanski. Bottom of the 6th inning, 1 out. Blue Crabs scored 3 in the first, 1 in the third, and 2 in the fourth. 2-0 pitch is tapped foul over toward the Blue Crabs dugout. And the count, 2 balls and 1 strike. Wolanski went deep to left onto the roof of the clubhouse back in the bottom of the 1st inning. He was just the 2nd batter of the game and roped a single to right his last time up. The 2-1 pitch is driven foul to the right side, and the count, 2 balls and 2 strikes. 1 away in the inning after Sundberg tapped one back to the mound. Wolanski will be followed by Walker, who also homered in today's game. They went back-to-back in the first. 2-2 pitch, that's inside, count 3-2. And Silk at risk of walking Wolanski. If he does, that would be the 4th time on base in today's ball game. (3-2). Upstairs, ball 4. Wolanski has walked for the 2nd time today. Well, how about a 4 times on base over the course of a ball game in 4 plate appearances? It's not every day you see numbers like that, but that's the kind of way that Michael Wolanski is playing right now. It's been that good. Walker comes to the plate. First pitch, ground ball toward the middle, fielded by the second baseman, and the touch is on second. The throw to first is in time. It's a 4-3 double play as Melvin Mercedes fields it on the backhand, touches second base, and fires to first for the final out. The Blue Crabs go down in order unconventionally. At the end of 6 innings of play, the Blue Crabs still lead this one 6-1. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Blue Crabs Baseball on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network. first pitch from Mitch Lamson on Colton Shaver is a little bit inside as we start the top of the 7th inning. Austin Rooney, Andrew Banstra, glad to have you on hand at the Reg in Waldorf. The 1-0 pitch, big wave and a miss. Count 1 ball and 1 strike on Shaver. It's a little bit odd. He walked pretty far toward the righty batter's box, almost like he was headed back to the dugout.
And it looks like there's no question this is Mitch Lamson's game at this point. Obviously, we know pitch count really not a problem for the left-hander, and we haven't seen any sign of action in the bullpen, nor should we have. He's been fantastic today.
1-1 pitch, called strike at the knees, count 1 and 2. I'd be interested to see if there's a number that manager Stan Clyburn has with Mitch Lamson on a pitch count basis where he says, okay, gets to 120 or 125, I'm not setting him back out there. 1-2 pitch. Line drive, deep center field. It's Collier who drifts back in front of the warning track and makes the catch overhead for the first out.
And what a massive impact Zach Collier has on almost every game defensively. He oftentimes makes plays that, other people wouldn't make, but he also makes them look easy. He's just an incredible defender.
He almost robbed the home run from Colton Shaver. I thought he might have robbed it. And I think a lot of the fans thought he might have robbed it. I talked to our cameraman Wes here. He thought he might have had it, but he in fact did not. It just got out of the reach of his glove. As the first pitch is a little bit low for ball 1 on the 7-hitter, Anthony Peroni.
Here's a question for you, Austin.
All right. As the pitch misses, go ahead.
What would be cooler, robbing a home run, like for you, robbing a home run to end the game for the other team, or hitting a walk-off home run?
I think robbing a home run's a little cooler. I mean, they're both awesome, but I think robbing a home run in general is better.
Definitely more rare, for sure.
Yeah. But it's got to be a full rob. You know,
Right.
Sometimes it's like, did he rob it, did he not? You got to have the glove over the wall and bringing it back in.
If your elbow isn't hyperextending on the wall as you go up, you didn't do it right.
Yeah, right. I'm with you. If you just barely got your glove up there and it's like, it probably would have gone over, but you really can't tell. 2-0 pitch. Line drive, first base side, going to get out of play, and the count 2 balls and 1 strike on Peroni.
I think I'd have to go with hitting a walk-off home run, though. I just think that, if you rob a would-be walk-off home run, you don't get mobbed, you don't get dogpiled. You might, but it's, there's something about hitting a home run and then having the about 30 seconds to run around the bases and all the fans are going crazy, and you're going to get mobbed by your teammates.
2-1 miss, 3-1 pitch. That was close, but a little outside according to the home plate umpire, Jerry Burrish. Your umpiring crew today, it's Jerry Burrish behind home plate at first base, Bill Worthington, and Joe Del Balso is making his start at second base today. He wasn't with the crew for the rest of the series, but he came in today. Bill the Skill Worthington and Jerry Burrish both in for games 1 and 2 of the series.
It's Bill.
Bill the Skill.
Bill the Skill Worthington.
Right. As the pitch, swing and a miss from Jake Hoover in the count. No balls and 1 strike. 1 away in the top of the 7th inning.
Hoover's another one of those guys for me that is a real plus defender that adds something to his team. Not that, Michael Baca doesn't for the Blue Crabs, but Hoover makes some of those really just star-studded plays he can lay out. He's a lot of fun to watch defensively.
The 0-1 a little bit inside, count 1 and 1. They're very similar players. Neither one of them has a ton of power, hits a lot of home runs, and it's a lot of singles from these guys. The 2-1 pitch, a swing and a miss, count 2 and 2. And they're both hitting right around 230 to 240. Baca out of the lineup. He was taken out of the lineup last night, and it was an interesting move because it was Denson Hull who was taken out of the game, and I thought when Stan Clyburn was going to go and speak with the umpire last night, Mike Williams, as the 2-2 pitch is swung on and missed in the dirt. And
did you see what happened there?
I couldn't tell. What was that? I thought it was the dirt.
It was a drop third strike.
Yeah.
But with the rule that allows you to steal first base, even though first base is occupied, technically he could still steal.
Oh, right.
But
First base being occupied was the thing that threw me off.
Now the runner at first just stood there, and then Hoover gave himself up.
One on and 2 outs in the 7th. A 6-1 ball game in favor of the Blue Crabs. Now there is action as Nick Wells starts throwing. First pitch, high pop up, shallow left field. It's the left fielder Sundberg who calls off the shortstop Wolanski and makes the catch for the final out. Well, Mitch Lamson walks one. The Barnstormers strand one at the end of 6.5 innings of play. It's time to get up and stretch. The Blue Crabs have a 5-run edge as we go to the bottom of the 7th. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Blue Crabs Baseball on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network. Well, David Harris comes to the plate in the bottom of the 7th inning. New pitcher on the mound is Cameron Gann for the Lancaster Barnstormers. First pitch to David Harris is up and in the count, 1 ball and no strikes on the designated hitter. The pitch, swinging a high pop-up, shallow center field, and it drops. A bloop single for the designated hitter, David Harris. And there's a runner on first base with nobody out. Cameron Gann is normally a starter for the Barnstormers. He's only been in 11 games, and he's started all of them. Says number 10 on the mound, and number 10 does come through as Cameron Gann. It might be a different pitcher who's entered the game here as the pitch is fouled back. As I mentioned earlier, there are a number of Lancaster players who are out with illness, but the number we have is 10 for Cameron Gann.
It's interesting, Austin. We don't really see Zach Collier get shifted so heavily all that often, but Lancaster's been doing it.
Yeah, he has a somewhat heavy shift. There aren't 3 players on one side of second, which is legal in the Atlantic League, as the pitch is inside and the count 1 ball and 1 strike with 1 out. The Atlantic League in the past has had a no-shift rule, which just constitutes that 2 infielders must be on each side of second base. This one's swinging a roped ball foul to the first base side. Count 1 ball and 2 strikes. We're glad you decided to join us. And Andrew, I've been talking about this throughout the day, but the weather doesn't get much better than this.
It's true. It's true. It was kind of miserable on Friday. It was
very hot.
100 plus humidity. Yesterday and today, you couldn't ask for better baseball weather.
That pitch is upstairs and outside. Count 2-2, especially last night. Temperatures low 70s. You know, a bit of wind, but not chilly.
I was talking with a fan in the seats, and he had a beer bat in one hand. He had his kids around him. I said, you know, it's a great day for baseball. He said, beautiful weather. We got a beer. I got my kids. I'm watching a baseball game. Couldn't ask for more.
Well, the 1-2 swing and a miss from Collier. He goes down on strikes. And that brings up Joe DeLuca. 1 out and 1 on in the bottom of the 7th. Few players of the day off, Andrew, but the Blue Crabs still have a 5-run lead. And unless the Barnstormers are able to put up a big rally in the 8th and 9th, the Blue Crabs have a good chance at winning their 8th straight. Few players, though, with the day off.
Yeah, it's really
Alex Crosby and Michael Baca.
It's true. You know, and when you're able to produce without multiple starters, it says a lot about your team.
First pitch is upstairs, and not to mention that Braxton Lee is also having the day off, with Matt Hibbert getting the start in right field. And the Blue Crabs also without Ryan Haugen in the lineup tonight. So 4 players that will frequently start for the Blue Crabs are out today, as the 1-0 pitch to DeLuca is up and away. Count 2 balls and no strikes. And you're right, it really does say a lot about the Blue Crabs when you're able to produce and win a ball game without your starters and your star players in the lineup. The 2-0 pitch, a wave and a miss, count 2 balls and 1 strike. And the guys that come in and play in their place are terrific players. I mean, look at guys like Raul Shah, who had outstanding numbers last year, hit .350 in the Pioneer League. And you have other guys like Matt Hibbert, who produced well last season and is a really hard worker. The pitch, line drive, right field line. It's going to be extra bases for DeLuca. David Harris is waved around third base. DeLuca around second. He heads to third. It's an RBI triple for Joe DeLuca. The Blue Crabs now lead this one 7-1. Harris scores all the way from first base.
How about that? You got your DH and your catcher getting 3 bases on 1 swing of the bat. What a rope from Joe DeLuca. This whole team, top to bottom, is producing, but I'll tell you what, the offense was, you know, it may be a coincidence, but the offense was starting to get a little bit stagnant right before DeLuca got here. And since he's gotten here, the whole team's kind of gotten back on that rhythm offensively that they were on to start the season.
I mean, this is a team that is hitting consistently now.
Elite.
Elite, like the Elite Giants.
It's true.
It's the way they used to be pronounced. The team the Blue Crabs rebranded as last night.
Now, believe it or not, and this is true, it was often pronounced the Elite Giants, and that's true.
The pitch, ground ball over toward third. It's fielded by the third baseman, Lair, who tosses to first for the second now. I respect what they were calling him, but I do prefer Elite.
Okay, Elite.
Elite.
Okay.
And here comes Matt Hibbert to the plate.
Would you hold the word elite in higher regard than elite?
You know, I think it's like a different level. You know, if someone says that's elite,
yeah,
it's really good. But if you say it's elite, I think it might bring it to that next level.
I think so too. We should establish some sort of tier.
I think we should. We can establish that maybe later in this one or during another broadcast.
I'd love it.
This one comes up and in and hits Matt Hibbert. Now there are runners on the corners with 2 outs. We already established Darrell Thompson drive, as instead of saying right down the middle or right down Main Street or right down Broadway, it's right down Darrell Thompson drive for a strike.
You know, and Matt Hibbert was the Ryan Haug of last year in that he got hit all the time. He led the league in hit by pitches. He had 12 in the month of September.
That's a lot of hit by pitches. No question about that. Brings up Ian Yetzko. Yetzko had a hit to get things going for the Blue Crabs. He's been on base twice. He's 1 for 3 today. Do like the let's go Yetzko chants.
I love it. I love it.
As the first pitch runs inside. Count 1 ball and no strikes.
I mean, it's put on a tee. How would you not do that? Jim?
No, it's a great one. Wes Albert is actually the pitcher in this ball game. As the pitch, it's a called strike in the count 0-1. It is the same number that Cameron Gann normally wears, but Gann out, so Wes Albert is wearing number 10. Listed in the MLB system as number 99.
He's not wearing that jersey.
No, he's not. The 1-1 pitch called strike on Yetzko. Count 1 ball and 2 strikes. This is his first appearance this year. He's gone 2/3 of an inning now and allowed 1 earned run. Just added to the roster yesterday. The pitch, that one's away. And now the count, 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th inning. 7-1 Blue Crabs. Joe DeLuca hit an RBI triple down the right field line. 2-2, ground ball. Great play by Hoover. Throw across the diamond, and it gets past the first baseman. That's Andretti Cordero. 1 run comes in and scores. That's Joe DeLuca from third. Meanwhile, it's Matt Hibbert who goes from first to third on the throwing error from Jake Hoover. But a valiant effort, as that one nearly got Ian Yetzko on the way to first.
You know, in my opinion, in some ways there should be like a third scoring option in baseball, where I hate to see Hoover get charged with an error.
I do
there,
too.
Because, you know, he could have just watched it go through and it would have been a hit, right? But
he could have just eaten the ball and just picked it up and been like, "Ah, that's it."
Right, but he gets punished for trying to get the out and making a great play. It's interesting, but you can't. It has to be one or the other. So
first pitch is up and away. It's ball 1. The 1-0 pitch called strike. Count 1-1. The other thing I've noticed, the more I've called games in the Atlantic League, and I'm not sure if the scoring system is the same in the MLB, but the first baseman rarely gets charged with the error on any sort of pick at all.
It's true.
1-0 pitch is low.
No, it's true. It's true.
No, it's true. And count 2 balls and 1 strike now on Jack Sundberg. But it's even if it's like a short hop that he should probably get, it's still the fielder who always gets charged with the error, even when it's a long throw from shortstop or third base. 2-1 pitch, called strike, count 2-2. I don't know if I've seen the first baseman be charged with a throwing error all year.
Yeah, it's true. I would tend to agree, and I think that is generally how it's called across all baseball. It's really interesting.
The pitch, swing and a miss. Jack Sundberg goes down on a 2-2 fastball up and out of the zone. Wes Albert, in his first appearance with the Lancaster Barnstormers, surrenders 2 runs in an inning of work. The Blue Crabs have an 8-1 lead as we go to the top of the 8th. Mitch Lamson trots back on the mound for his 8th inning of work. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Blue Crabs Baseball on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network. Well, the first pitch is a called strike to get things going on Shawan Dunston, the leadoff hitter in the Lancaster batting order. 0-1 pitch, that's a little away. Count 1 ball and 1 strike. Top of the 8th inning, 8-1 Blue Crabs. We're glad you decided to join us on a sunny Sunday. 1-1, a little low and in. Count 2 balls and 1. I sincerely hope that you are outside while listening to this broadcast and watching the Blue Crabs. 2-1 pitch, ground ball, fouled off, first base side.
Assuming it's nice everywhere, everybody's listening.
Right, if the weather is like this, if you are somewhere in a totally different part of the country where the weather is absolutely a disaster, then by all means, be inside. But if the weather is like this, please, go outside. Keep the broadcast on, though. The 2-2 pitch, swinging a slow roller over to first. Walker flips back to the bag, and he's called safe. Dunston, I guess, beat the throw. I thought that Lamson was there in time.
I think Lamson missed the bag with his foot, and he turned arm side all the way around to try to slap the tag on, and by the time he did that, he couldn't get it.
So you're saying a good call by Bill the Skill Worthington over at first base.
I thought his foot was on the bag, but when I saw him try to apply the tag, then I thought, okay, there's no way he had his foot on the bag if he was trying to apply the tag as well.
Unless it was just inadvertent.
But he spun all the way around. It's interesting, but how about Lamson? 1 run through 7 innings. I mean, this guy took last season off, and he's been remarkable for the Blue Crabs this year.
The first pitch is upstairs for ball 1. Well, it's great to see him back in baseball, a guy that can pitch effectively, and we've talked about this throughout the broadcast as well. He's not going to overpower you. The pitch swinging a high pop-up, right field line, long run for Shaw, who can't get there. Runners are going to go station to station as Matt Hibbert comes in with the ball. It was a long run for the second baseman Shaw. It's one of those weird plays where the first baseman, it's not the first baseman ball, it's instead the second baseman's ball. As Shaw chased after that pop-up and back-to-back, sort of dink and dunk singles. Say infield single on a slow dribbler and a pop-up down the right field line. Not exactly the 2 hardest hit balls.
And I think, honestly, the wind might have affected that as well. With the wind blowing out as much as it is, Shaw kind of thought he was under it, and it just kept going out.
Well, that's going to do it for Mitch Lamson. 7+ innings of work for the lefty. He goes 113 pitches over 7 innings of work. He strikes out 9. Has allowed 1 run for now on 6 hits. He is responsible for the 2 on base, but another outstanding outing put forth from Mitch Lamson. The Blue Crabs make the call to the bullpen. It's Nick Wells who will enter the game when we come back. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Blue Crabs Baseball on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network. Well, we are back in the top of the 8th inning. There's nobody out And 2 on base for Nick Wells, who's entered the game. First pitch swinging, ground ball towards second. Shaw fields. He tries to flip to the shortstop, Wolanski, who couldn't make the play on a bit of a weird throw. And everybody's going to be safe. Well, not exactly what you're looking for there. Ball that seemed like it could have been 2 potentially off the bat. By the time Shaw got there and fielded on the backhand and tried to flip to second base, he couldn't get it to Wolanski, and now the bases are loaded.
Just 2 really well-placed balls that end up biting the Blue Crabs, and now Nick Wells is going to have to work himself out of a jam.
I'd be interested to see what that goes down as a fielder's choice or a single or an error or what. It looks like it's going down for now as a hit potentially. The first pitch is a called strike on the cleanup hitter. That's Ladarius Clark. This one, swinging a ground ball over toward third. Yetzko to second. He airmails the throw into right field. 2 runs are going to come around and score. And now to second base, it's Ladarius Clark. It's an 8-3 ball game with runners on second and third and still nobody out. Back-to-back miscues by the Blue Crabs infield.
Yeah, you know, the Blue Crabs really this year have been propelled to victory and success through really clean defense. You don't see this team make errors, and if you do, really don't see them make a slew of errors. So, you know, you have a big lead to protect it right now, but obviously not what you're looking for.
And Ian Yetzko's had a solid day at the plate, and so far has made good throws, but that one wasn't anywhere close. I don't think it was within maybe 15 feet of Raul Shaw at second base. Either way, the runners on second and third, 2 runs in the top of the 8th inning. First pitch, ground ball foul, first base side from Trayvon Robinson. Over on third base, it's Andretti Cordero. At second base, it's Ladarius Clark. 8-3 Blue Crabs. Interested in seeing the official rulings on those last 2 plays. So the last one is ruled a fielder's choice, and Andretti Cordero is credited with the single. That one is outside on the pitch to Clark. Or I beg your pardon. It's the pitch to Trayvon Robinson, who bats 5th. Robinson followed by Colton Shaver. See if Nick Wells can work his way out of this. The pitch, that's inside. The 1-1 misses, so now the count 2 balls and 1 strike. And I think that Nick Wells is one of the best pitchers on this Blue Crabs pitching staff, but you'd have to wonder how long is the leash. If the Barnstormers score these 2 runs on second and third, all of a sudden it's a 3-run ball game. 2-1 pitch, ground ball, foul back behind home plate. And the count 2 balls and 2 strikes on Robinson. I will also say this much. The Blue Crabs have gotten about as unlucky as you can be in this inning.
Right, and that's one of the biggest pieces about it. If you're Stan Clyburn, you're thinking to yourself, okay, do I really need to take Nick Wells out, considering the 2 batters he's faced have hit ground balls, just kind of unfortunately placed, and then an error.
Bases are loaded with nobody out.
Final line on Mitch Lampson. 7 innings pitched, 6 hits, 3 runs all earned, 3 walks, 9 strikeouts.
And the pitch is a little bit low on the count, 3 balls and 1 strike. He doesn't deserve 3 earned runs. I'm just going to be honest there. I'm not sure if there's any difference if that's an error at second base as opposed to a hit. I'd imagine that would be the second out, but it was called a single from Andretti Cordero. Either way, it's 8-3, and he does allow 3 runs across 7 innings of work. 113 pitches, a really, really good start from Mitch Lampson. And now the 3-2 pitch, that's low and away, and it's a walk. The bases are loaded, and now there is action in the Blue Crabs bullpen. It's Endris Briseño, who got the night off last night, who is up and throwing.
And what a nice compliment you have from Mitch Lampson to Nick Wells. It doesn't get all that different from that. other than if it was Andres Briseño, a right-handed pitcher. But to have Nick Wells and Andres Briseño as non-closer options is almost unfair. A hard-throwing lefty with good movement and good control, and Briseño exactly the opposite, a right-handed pitcher that can do all those good things.
Well, the first pitch is up and away to Colton Shaver, and all of a sudden the Barnstormers are really threatening here in the eighth. 2 runs in already. Colton Shaver went deep already. If he could do the same now, he'd get this within a 1-run ball game. 1-0 pitch, called strike on the inside corner from Nick Wells.
This is just the third, make that the 4th at bat today for the Barnstormers with runners in scoring position.
And they had their only run prior to this was a solo shot from Shaver. It looked like a pop-up to left field that just kept on carrying. The 1-1 pitch is up and away, and the count 2 balls and 1 strike. Have to imagine this is Wells' last batter if he can't get the out here. You don't want to rush Briseño into the ball game, but at the same time, have to worry about this lead. 8-3 Blue Crabs as the 2-1 pitch is fouled back. Count 2 balls and 2 strikes. We've talked about this already. It's not as though he's getting hit around pretty badly. I mean, what he's allowed so far is a ground ball to Shaw up the middle, a ground ball to third base, and a walk. And the 2-2 pitch is fouled off yet again, third base side, and the count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes.
That one almost hit Bradley Roney, who's watching down by the dugout.
Bradley Roney got some action in yesterday, allowed a leadoff double in the 8th, and then shut things down. Count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes on Colton Shaver. Nick Wells looking for what would be a massive strikeout. 2-2 pitch, swinging a high fly ball, center field straight away. It's Collier who makes the catch. He's going to throw to third, and 1 run will come home for the Barnstormers. And it is now an 8-3 ball game. It was Andretti Cordero who scored that run.
And in this situation, if you're the Blue Crabs, you're completely fine trading an out for a run. And it looks like Stan Clyburn has found the end of his leash with Nick Wells.
So Nick Wells surrenders 1 run. He allows no hits, or 1 hit. They charged him with the hit on that ground ball up the middle. It's now an 8-4 ball game as Andretti Cordero scored from third, and Andres Briseño will enter this ball game. 2 on with 1 out. He's trying to keep the Barnstormers behind by 4. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Blue Crabs Baseball on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network. We are back now in the top of the 8th inning. Another pitching change from the Reagan Waldorf. 2 on with 1 out as Andres Briseño enters the game. It's an 8-4 Blue Crabs lead. He's looking to keep it that way as Anthony Peroni comes to the plate. First pitch, fastball's up and in, and the count 1 ball and no strikes.
And these are the situations that Andres Briseño is made for. Getting out of jams, tough situations that seem unworkable. That's his forte.
Count 1-0. Here's the pitch. Swinging a ground ball towards second base. Fielded by Shah, who tossed to first. And is in time. Another run comes home for the Barnstormers. This Ladarius Clark. And it is an 8-5 ball game. All of a sudden, things starting to tighten. All runs from here on out should go down as unearned. That one included because of the error charged to Ian Yetzko. Either way, it's an 8-5 ball game, though. In the top of the 8th inning with 2 outs. Here's the pitch. First pitch called strike, straight gas to Jake Hoover on the fastball. I've heard some people call it fuel. Have you heard fuel?
Instead of throwing gas?
Yeah.
I've never heard that, but I think it's acceptable.
I heard it the other day, and I was like, that's a new one. 0-1 pitch. Another fastball. He's pounding the zone right now. Count 0-2 on Jake Hoover, who's 0 for 2 today. 8-5. Southern Maryland leads over the Barnstormers. Briseño, the pitch, that's away. The count 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Briseño has such a commanding presence on the mound, but at the same time, he's so in control. He has every intention of throwing exactly where he wants to. He has everything pre-planned.
1-2 pitch. Close, just a little away. And they count 2 balls and 2 strikes. We wish all the fathers out there a happy Father's Day today. From time to time around the ballpark, we will see Andres Briseño with his family. So we wish Andres Briseño a happy Father's Day as well. 2-2 pitch. That's called strike 3. No question about it. He froze Jake Hoover with a breaking ball. And that ends the top of the 8th inning. The Blue Crabs surrender 4 runs. It's an 8-5 ball game as we go to the bottom of the 8th. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Blue Crabs Baseball on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network. Well, we go to Michael Wolanski. We had Mitch Lamson earlier. Now it's Michael Wolanski, who bats second for the Blue Crabs and leads off the inning in the bottom of the 8th inning. Blue Crabs lead 8-5. First pitch is upstairs. Michael Wolanski has reached base all 4 times he's come to the plate. This one drilled to deep left center field. Back to the warning track at the wall. He's done it again. Michael Wolanski goes deep to left center with a solo shot. It's his 2nd of the game, his 4th of the season. And Michael Wolanski is absolutely on fire.
That might even be an understatement, Austin. This is a guy that can literally do no wrong at the plate right now. I mean, you're talking about a guy that you can't even put it into words what he's doing at the plate, not to mention what he did to start the season before being traded to Southern Maryland. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, well, he came to Southern Maryland with a 200 batting average. That batting average is now at 340.
Unreal.
It has jumped 140 points since being traded. He got off to a really good start in April, was ice cold in May, but in June, he is a new meaning to red hot. This is a ground ball towards shortstop. It's fielded by the shortstop for the Lancaster Barnstormers, Jake Hoover, and he tosses to first base for the out. And there is one away as David Harris comes to the plate. One run in for the Blue Crabs. It's a 9-5 ball game with 1 out in the bottom of the 8th inning. The Blue Crabs look to shut things down in the bottom of the 9th inning and give the Blue Crabs their 8th consecutive win. The Long Island Ducks are about to win in the top of the 9th inning. They have 2 outs on the Wild Health Genomes. They lead by 6. Blue Crabs won't be clinching anything today, as the pitch from Donald Goodson is low and in on David Harris. Their magic number will move from 3 to 2. A Blue Crabs win and a Ducks loss on Tuesday would clinch. The pitch to Harris is foul back. The count is 2 balls and 1 strike. 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out. Bottom of the 8th inning, Austin Rooney, joined by Andrew Banstra. We're happy that you have joined us, Andrew, today as the 2-1 pitch is a little bit upstairs. The count 3-1. Southern Maryland will go to Staten Island next.
Thrilled to be here, and, you know, this Blue Crabs team, Austin, is just so much fun to watch.
They are. 3-1 up and in. It's ball 4. 1 on with 1 out in the bottom of the 8th inning. The Blue Crabs also have some insurance runs to work with. I'd be interested to see who the Blue Crabs go with in the 9th. It's not a save situation per se. I could see Briseño coming back, especially with a day off tomorrow. What do you think, Andrew?
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me, especially since he only faced 2 batters. You mentioned the off day tomorrow. At the same time, it's not such a high-leverage situation, but I don't see any action, so I'm thinking Briseño.
Pitch to Collier, line drive, right center field, base hit. Harris pulls up at second. And there are runners on first and second with 1 out. Zach Collier gets a base hit. The Blue Crabs with 15 hits today. Collier was the only player in the lineup without a hit, and he just added his first of the day. You want a player of the game today, Andrew? You know who I'm choosing?
Who would you choose?
Michael Wolanski. Mitch
Wolanski.
Lamson. You know, maybe we should go with Mitch we have Mitch Lamson and Michael Wolanski, and we
just give both of them.
Yeah, I think,
I think that's a good idea.
It's a double trouble there.
And it is. And it is. But no, you raise a really good point. I mean, Michael Wolanski, this guy's just, he's hitting the ball at a crazy pace. I mean, there's going to be a point where he might not be here that long if he keeps hitting that well.
No, I think you're exactly right. I mean, if he continues these numbers with the Blue Crabs, he's hitting significantly over 400 right now. And the power, his OPS is upwards of 1,200 with the Blue Crabs.
And he's a really good fielder, too, that can play multiple positions.
He is. And he's a really good guy. You know, I've had the chance to talk with him a number of times. Just a friendly guy, outgoing, and happy always to talk with the media.
And he fits in really well on this team because of all those things you just said.
And you really hope he gets that shot. He was in AAA last year with the Astros with limited time, and he could go right back to a AAA ball club. As the first pitch, wave and a miss from Joe DeLuca. Who knows? He continues a hot streak in affiliated ball, and we'll just see where he ends up. DeLuca digs back in from the left side. Here's the pitch. That's away. Count 1 ball and 1 strike. Runners on first and second and 1 out for Joe DeLuca, who is 1 for 4 today. Drilled a triple down the right field line. David Harris has sort of flown under the radar, but he's 3 for 3 with an RBI and 2 runs scored as well.
And his batting average continues to climb. He's up at 342 now.
Talk about another guy who deserves a look from an affiliated ball team. I think it's him. This one swinging, drilled to right center, but the center fielder, Shawan Dunston, was playing way back near the warning track to start and got a quick jump on that ball for the out, but that was blasted to right center.
Yeah, and the wind helped it too just a little bit, not enough, but we don't see the ball fly all that much here that often.
No.
And we really never see the flag straight back. So today is a prime day for home runs, and it's come through. You mentioned that Shaver one earlier. Didn't look like it was going to get out.
Yeah, I thought that ball was going to be hit about 200 feet, to be completely honest.
How about the Jared Walker home run in the first inning?
That was drilled. And the Wolanski home run as well. We see a lot of righties go deep because it's a shorter porch in right field, and left field, I should say. There's the pull ball, but it's much deeper out in right field. The deepest part of the park is that right center field wall as it goes towards the batter eye. The pitch, big wave and a miss from Raul Shah. Count now 1 ball and 1 strike on Shah, who has a base hit in today's game. He's 1 for 4. His batting average at .253.
That Jared Walker home run went 438 feet.
Wow. I didn't realize it was that far. The 1-1 pitch, or 1-2 I should say. I had it at 1-1, and it is 1-2, and now that's strike 3 on Raul Shah. That ends the bottom of the 8th inning. Well, we go to the top of the 9th now. It's 9-5 Blue Crabs. They lead the Barnstormers. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Blue Crabs Baseball on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network. Austin Rooney to bring you through the top of the 9th inning. It is Endris Brasino who has returned in the top of the 9th against Trace Lair. Endris Brasino came in the bottom of the 8th, or the top of the 8th inning, after Nick Wells ran into a little bit of trouble. First pitch called strike on the inside corner, and the count no balls and 1 strike on the 9-hitter. I don't know if I've ever seen a 4-run inning where the pitchers made fewer mistakes than they did then. This one swinging a line drive left field line, and it is a foul ball. Nearly well struck by the left-handed hitter, Trace Lair, who will be followed by Shawan Dunston and Melvin Mercedes. Lair 0 for 3 today, and the count no balls and 2 strikes on him. Endris Brasino with a 1.14 ERA. We've seen the velocity be as high as 97. It's right now right around 94. That pitch looked awfully good, but called a ball by the home plate umpire, Jerry Burrish. Trace Lair trying to pull the move out of the way. That one might have been a strike. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Line drive foul, third base side. Gets up into the seats, and the count remains no balls and 2 strikes. This is just the 11th pitch thrown by Endris Brasino. Pitched 2/3 of an inning back in the 8th. And retired the 2 batters quickly. 0-2, ground ball, first base side foul. And the count remains 1-2. A longer at bat now for Brasino. This will be the 6th pitch upcoming. Brasino went 2/3 of an inning, striking out 1 back in the 8th. Brasino set. Here's the pitch. Swinging a ground ball. That one's back up toward the middle. A seeing eye single between the second baseman Wolanski and the second baseman Shaw and the shortstop Wolanski. Right back through the middle. There was a slight shift on. If there's not, Shaw might be able to make that play. And here comes Shawan Dunston Jr. with a runner on first base and nobody out. With the Blue Crabs win today, they would move to 41-12 on the season. Maintain a 13-game lead in the division. Still have some work to do first, though. Pitch from Brasino, called strike on the outside corner, and the count 0-1. Endris Brasino has had a few clean outings. He did run into a little bit of trouble a few games ago. As this ball gets past Ryan Howe, it's got to be a pass ball, as he should have handled that breaking ball. It was a little bit away, but not much. And it gets all the way to the backstop. Well, it's Joe DeLuca, not Ryan Howe. I beg your pardon. Did not squeeze the mitt that time. And there's a runner on second. Count 1 ball and 1 strike with nobody out. One ball, 1 strike. Brasino gets a sign from DeLuca. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball, just a little away. The count 2 balls and 1 strike. 2 balls, 1 strike. Nobody out in the top of the 9th inning, and it's Matt Latos who starts to warm. The pitch, swinging a line drive. It's right at the second baseman, Raul Shaw, who now slides and makes the catch for the first out. So 1 on and 1 out in the top of the 9th. As the Lancaster Barnstormers still trail by 4 runs. And Melvin Mercedes comes to the plate. Brasino comes set at the belt. Here's the pitch. Called strike. The count, no balls and 1 strike. Let's run back through the upcoming schedule for the Blue Crabs. On Tuesday, they go to Staten Island for a set of 3 games. They will then return home for 3 at home against Gastonia. Check swing. Did he go? They motioned down to third, and the third base umpire, Joe Del Basso, says he held up. And the count now 1 ball and 1 strike on Melvin Mercedes. Runner on second with 1 out. Here is the 1-1 pitch. High pop up, third base side. It's Yetzko over toward the railing, and he runs out of room. Ball bounced either in the dugout or right next to the dugout. Either way, Yetzko couldn't get there. And the count 1 ball and 2 strikes now on Melvin Mercedes, who's hitting .231 this season. Nick Wells ran into trouble in the 8th. He went just 1/3 of an inning, allowed 1 hit. He walked 1. Allowed 2 runs, though both are going down as unearned. And now there has been either an additional error charged or something that has made Lamson's runs unearned, along with Wells's. The pitch, that one is outside. Count 2 balls and 2 strikes on Mercedes. Top of the 9th inning. We're glad you've joined us today. The runner on second base. The pitch, that one's low, and now the count 3 balls and 2 strikes. Three balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Runner on second base for the Lancaster Barnstormers. Apologize, having some technical difficulties right now as the 3-2 pitch is fouled back to the netting. Mercedes from the lefty batter's box. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Runner on second base, a 9-5 game. And Mercedes steps out yet again. Count 3-2. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Struck him out. Endris Briseño goes upstairs. His velocity up to 96 and 97 now. And he records the out. There are 2 away in the 9th. The Blue Crabs, if they can hold on to this one, will win 8 consecutive games. Blue Crabs would have their magic number go all the way down to 2. Two outs, 1 on. Briseño set. Here's the pitch. Swinging a ground ball over to second. Shaw's got it. The flip to first is in time to end the ball game. The Southern Maryland Blue Crabs win this one by a score of 9-5. We'll run through some key players and also run through all the scoring today before we sign off on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network. We'll give you a player of the game as well. The Southern Maryland Blue Crabs are winners today by a score of 9-5. Well, let's first run through the scoring plays in today's ball game as Southern Maryland has rattled off their 8th consecutive win. As the Blue Crabs got things going in the first inning. As the home run ball was flying, Michael Wolanski hit a 2-run shot over the wall in left field, actually hitting the clubhouse roof. And that gave the Blue Crabs a 2-0 lead as it scored Jack Sundberg. From there, it was Jared Walker who hit a home run on a fly ball to right center field as he blasted a ball 439 feet. And that gave the Blue Crabs a 3-0 lead. They would never trail. The Blue Crabs kept that 3-0 lead until the third inning when they added another run. It was a double from Raul Shah, a line drive to center field over the head of Shawan Dunston Jr. as it brought home David Harris. In the fourth inning, it was Lancaster who got one back on a high pop-up that kept on going and going and going and going. And it became a 4-1 game as it traveled over the Blackstone management sign in left center and made this a 4-1 ball game. Jared Walker singled on a ground ball to right field. That made it a 5-1 game as it brought in Ian Yetzko. David Harris hit a sacrifice fly later to make it a 6-1 game. Joe DeLuca added his name to the party as he roped a ball down the right field line. That brought in David Harris. Ian Yetzko singled on an infield single over to short. And that scored another run as Matt Hibbert reached third and Joe DeLuca came home on the play. It gave the Blue Crabs an 8-1 lead. In the top of the eighth inning, the Lancaster Barnstormers battled back. A fielder's choice from Ladarius Clark as Shawan Dunston scored. And there was a throwing error by Ian Yetzko as 2 runs came around to score. Colton Shaver hit a sacrifice fly on the next batter. That brought home Andretti Cordero. And Anthony Peroni also brought in a run on a fielder's choice as Ladarius Clark scored. That cut the deficit to 8-5. Michael Wolanski added to his first home runs and his 2 hits and his 4 times on base with his 5th time on base and a solo home run to left center field, giving the Blue Crabs a 9-5 lead. Enders Briseño stayed on and ended the ball game as he went an inning and 2/3. He struck out 2. Briseño was throwing as high as 97 miles per hour. Let's go through a couple of the key batters in this ball game before we sign off. Every Blue Crabs hitter actually had a hit, so let's go through everybody. Sundberg was 1 for 5. He had a hit back in the first inning on the first pitch that Blue Crabs batters faced. He doubled. He came around and scored a run on the 2-run shot from Wolanski. Wolanski 3 for 3. 3 RBIs, 3 runs scored, 2 walks as Michael Wolanski hit 2 home runs. Jared Walker goes 2 for 5, 2 RBIs. He also scored a run, and the Blue Crabs win. David Harris also goes 3 for 3. He drove in a run, scored 2, and walked once. Zach Collier was 1 for 5. He added to the party late. That was in the 8th inning. Joe DeLuca had an RBI triple, and the Blue Crabs tacked on another run there. That gave the Blue Crabs a 7-1 lead at the time. Raul Shah had an RBI single as well in this ball game. Matt Hibbert 1 for 3. He was also hit by a pitch. Ian Yetzko was 2 for 4 in today's game. He roped a double and a single to shortstop. He had an RBI and a run scored in tonight's contest. The pitchers for the Blue Crabs, Lamson goes 7 innings, 6 hits, 3 runs, just 1 earned. He walked 3 allowed, and he picked up 9 strikeouts. Nick Wells, 1/3 of an inning. He allowed 1 hit, 1 walk, and 2 runs, both unearned. Enders Briseño shut down the side when he came into the ball game. 1 2/3 innings, 1 hit, and 2 strikeouts. Well, that'll do it from us here on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network. Our player of the game is undoubtedly Michael Wolanski. 3 for 3 with 2 home runs and 5 times on base. Well, that'll do it from us here on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network. The Blue Crabs are winners by a score of 9-5. 8 consecutive wins. The magic number is down to 2. That number, 8 consecutive wins, it matches the previous franchise record prior to the Blue Crabs' 12-game win streak this season. So it's tied for the second longest win streak in Blue Crabs history. Well, that'll do it from us here on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network. We will rejoin you next time in Staten Island on Tuesday night. Have a terrific weekend, everybody. Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. Have a nice day off tomorrow. The Blue Crabs sure will. And enjoy your Sunday evening. We sign off, as always, with Let's Go Blue Crabs.